With an etching, the first step in the process is you cover the copper plate with a thin waxy ground.
And then when that layer dries, you can take a needle and draw through the varnish to produce lines, removing the wax as you go.
An etching can be done much more rapidly than an engraving can. An engraving takes an enormous amount of skill to press the burin through the copper plate, and quite a long time, whereas an etching can be done as quickly as a drawing.
You take the needle and you draw the lines you want through the wax, and those are the lines that are bitten by the acid.
So if you can see in the areas of the sky where there's parallel lines, those are the areas where Dürer would have taken his etching needle and drawn through the waxy ground that covers the plate. You take the copper plate, which is partially covered with the waxy ground and partially uncovered where you've drawn it, and you put the entire copper plate into an acid bath.
If you lower the plate gently into the acid bath using your finger, then at least you know you've only got acid on your finger and you can wash it off. If you throw it in from a distance, then it splashes all over the place and you've no idea where it's going to go, so that's dangerous. The acid then bites into the metal where you've drawn the lines and it eats away the copper. As that happens, you can see little bubbles forming on the surface, and you might want to remove those with a feather, brushing them away so that they don't prevent the acid from biting more deeply into the copper. In an etching, you can produce lines of different depth by leaving the plate in the acid for different lengths of time.
Then you take the copper plate out of the acid bath, remove the waxy ground, and cover the entire plate with ink. Just like with engraving, you wipe off the surface of the plate and leave only the etched areas holding the ink. Then what you do is you take a piece of paper, put it over the copper plate, and run it through a press. The paper is pushed into the lines that hold the ink, and then you take the piece of paper off and you have your etching. Now you can continue to ink the plate and print it again and again. Dürer only made 6 etchings. We're not really sure why, but there's something that didn't please him about the etching process, and he didn't continue any further.